This is The Top, where I interview entrepreneurs who are number one or number two in their industry in terms of revenue or customer base. You'll learn how much revenue they're making, what their marketing funnel looks like, and how many customers they have.
I'm now at $20,000 per talk.
5 and 6 million.
He is hell-bent on global domination. We just broke our 100,000 unit sold mark.
And I'm your host, Nathan Latka.
Many of you who I've met in person have seen my unbelievable dashboards that I built. You know, I'm an analytics-like crazy person. I love the data, and I love presenting the data in beautiful dashboards that my team can use on their mobile devices, their phones, and TVs throughout the office. Now, the way I do this without having to hire a big development team is at nathanlatka.com/analytics. It's using a company called Clipfolio, and I'll tell you more later on in the show how I use them. It's nathanlatka.com/analytics. Nathan Latka here. This is episode 622, and coming up tomorrow morning, you're going to learn from Richard Brasser. He's the 50-year-old CEO and father of 4 of a company called R Factor, which has just raised $9 million and passed $900,000 in monthly recurring revenue, helping 220 customers with social selling. So how's he manage a fast-growing business doing almost $1 million a month and 4 kids at home? Tune in to find out. All right, guys, good morning. Nathan Latka here, and our guest this morning is Nektarios Leos. He's the CEO and co-founder of Startup Bootcamp Financial Technology and Insurance Technology, the leading innovation program in the financial and insurance industries, providing funding, mentorship, office space in the heart of London, Singapore, New York, and Mumbai, and access to their global network of investors and VCs for up to 10 folks each time they do it. He's really leading the way. Nektarios, are you ready to take us to the top?
Let's do it.
Okay, very good. So tell us first, how does the accelerator work, and what are you focused on?
We're a network of accelerators. We're very traditional in the sense that it's a 13-week program, just like what we've known for years. It's mentor-driven. It's cohort-based, which means the teams have to move to the location where we run the program. But the key thing, and this is where we're different, is the programs we run are very much industry-focused programs. So they're not so much about, hey, we're going to meet some cool startups, and the first thing they'll get out of this when they finish the program will be funding. Funding is a side effect. The key thing here is that these are industries that are heavily regulated, and where the startups usually come with a B2B proposition. So what they need is access to the right players within a bank, within an insurer, so they can get their first pilot or the first proof of concept off the ground. And that's really what we focus on. And
so how many companies have gone through your program to date?
We've now run about, we have now had about 60 programs in the FinTech and insurtech kind of verticals, but overall with Startup Bootcamp, we now had 400 companies that graduated.
Wow! So what year did you take your first class?
So I launched FinTech in 2014. That was January 2014, but Startup Bootcamp's been around since 2010.
Okay, so did they acquire you, and now you're leading Startup Bootcamps? How does that work?
No, Startup Bootcamp started growing very organically. We started off as hey, some people are doing cool stuff in the US, we should bring something like this to Europe. And then it started in Copenhagen, then it moved to places like Berlin and Amsterdam. And little by little, we started focusing on bringing in a sort of a particular type of theme to it. So we had a mobile or an NFC program. But at the end of 2013, the guys who were running this realized that to add real value, you need to be super sharp in your focus. And this is where we started together there. So we've been talking for a while at that point about doing something together for FinTech and in London. So then I joined to launch the FinTech program in London with that specific focus. So we have a bunch of banks and a few other players funding and supporting the program.
So is there an actual fund behind the program? You're making investments?
No.
Okay.
No, we don't make investments. We take equity.
Nektarios, what are the terms? How much do you put into a company, and what equity do you take?
No, we need to be very specific. We take 6% equity, and the startups pay, give us the equity for the program. We give them cash. We give them 15,000 euros cash, but it's not a reflection on the valuation of the company. So I'm always very keen to make the distinction to not combine the two figures. We don't we don't really see the money as an investment. We see this really as beer and pizza money to survive for the 3 months.
And you're giving them 50,000 euros or 15?
One five.
Okay, so which comes out right now, what is that, to about 17,000 US dollars?
Yeah, give or take, yeah. But this is really, so the conversation we have with the teams that make it into the program is if you really rely on the cash, don't come. Because this is really not about the money. If what you need is that you talk to the right head of innovation at Lloyds Bank or DBS in Singapore or at Deutsche Bank in New York, then that's why you should come to us. But if you look at this as an opportunity to get your first money, that's not the right program for you.
So I recently, I want to ask you about the specific fintech and insurance tech industry, because as you know, it's a very, very hot space, right? A combination of the data play there, plus the consumer angle, it's very hot. We had recently the Wealthfront CEO on, Andy, and we've got Betterment coming on shortly, and you're seeing all kinds of different models between both of them. Obviously, they're competing, but have you placed any bets in that space? Has anyone gone through your program that's competing with them?
We have a variety of different wealth kind of solutions in our programs. And actually, we see a big trend in that space. Anything to do with investment, and particularly, we have seen a move away from payments and lending as being the key fintech themes. And we now move increasingly towards investment-related stuff. But we have a variety of variations on the theme that Wealthfront or Betterment are doing. Nutmeg in the UK has been a great success, which is also kind of...
Sorry, Nektarios, what was that company?
Sorry, Nutmeg in the UK, nothing to do with Startup Bootcamp, but just to illustrate that this is a big thing at the moment where we see people really putting in a focus on the investment piece. We had a team in Singapore called, now you're putting me on the spot, I don't remember the name of one of our teams. Jesus, I know the name of the guy. I need to look this up.
He's going to watch this and he's going to kill you. He's going to go, this was a great opportunity for PR and you forgot our name.
Seriously, I wasn't expecting to names here. But I will come back to this one. Just give me a sec. So whilst we're talking. So no, definitely. We have anything from people coming up with cool algorithms to create a new hedge fund type as a service.
So tell me about that. So hedge funds are obviously interesting. 2 and 20 can get pretty antiquated, and you're, I think, going to see some economies of scale be built into that industry over time. The typical asset managers those are being eroded already by Betterment and Wealthfront. What company are you invested in that is really giving the power of a hedge fund returns to the average consumer?
So the team we had in the program was called Walnut Algorithms out of France.
Okay.
And
Walnut Algorithms out of France.
Yeah, so they're a French startup, some cool guys who all PhD students who were just looking, where they built a self-learning algorithm that they think will revolutionize the hedge fund industry. One of the things we need to be quite clear about in our conversation is that the teams we work with are usually very early stage. They're very what? They are usually early stage, pre-seed. So they come to us with a product that is usually not ready for launch yet, and they use a program to validate the proposition, to do all the customer discovery and all the kind of the lean startup essentials that they need to do to be able to actually do something with it. So the best thing we can expect for the program to deliver is that they leave the program with a validated proposition, and then they go on and start selling it either to the consumers or launch it or whatever it is that they do in their journey.
So since 2014, you've done over 400 companies?
No, since 2014, we've got about 60 companies. 60. That's the fintech focus, yeah.
Okay, and of those 60 companies, on paper, which one has generated the most returns for you so far?
I think we need to go back into this. We don't really look at this as an investment piece. The company that raised more money is a company called Buzzmove, which is a team that we had in our InsurTech program in London last year. They raised
Buzzmove?
8 million. Buzzmove, yeah, they raised 8 million US.
And what do they do?
They provide very accurate data for content insurance, for home insurance, for lenders. For insurers. So they started off as a price comparison website for moving firms, and they realized that sit on these amazing data that are a lot more accurate than what insurers usually have when they insure home content. So their solution is now a data provider solution to the industry.
Okay, interesting. So they're selling to like the Experians of the world, so that Experian has more data for credit scores?
No, they're selling to the actual insurance carriers, who are the organizations that provide content insurance, home content insurance to the consumers.
Okay, I got it. So Buzzmove, they've raised a bunch of capital. You said you don't look at this like an investment, though. How do you make an accelerator like what you're building sustainable over the long term if you're not getting any kind of investment returns?
So our program is funded by the industry players who participate in this. So when we have 10 banks in one program, or in the InsurTech program, we've got 17 InsurTech partners, insurance industry players who put money into the program. So for us, this is really what funds the program, what gives us the money to pay the salaries, to give the cash to the teams, et cetera, et cetera. And we really see this as a tool for the industry on the one side. So we don't really necessarily build these programs to make money out of this. This is not what drives us. We keep usually 1% to 2% of the equity. And if one day, further down the track, one of these companies is going to grow big, we'll have some upside, but it will be so diluted that even that is not necessarily what drives us. It's really to be that glue between the two sides. It sounds altruistic because to a large extent it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, let's just call a spade a spade. One reason is because these large companies can't move as quick as the startups you're working with, so they're getting information rights and they can maybe spot trends.
Yeah, absolutely. For them, it's corporate innovation.
Yeah, totally.
The reason the banks, the reason insurers are doing this is visibility, just seeing what trends are out there, what really do they need to know about, what's the latest in blockchain, what's the latest in AI, etc.
So who do you think is going to win, Betterment or Wealthfront in that space? Since
I'm not going to make that judgment.
What do you think? I mean, what qualities will determine the winner in that space?
You see, I think there's some fundamental questions around if robo-advice in itself is a sustainable business. I don't think the large incumbents will actually be able to catch up. And it's really, seriously, I wish I could give you an opinion, but I'm finding it really difficult because it's still so early stage. One of the things that we all forget is that FinTech as a term hasn't been around for more than 5-6 years. So all these companies, even the ones who've raised a lot of money, like a Wealthfront or a Betterment, even the ones who have already consumers and lots of assets under management, I find it really difficult to predict that one or the other will succeed because there's still so many outstanding, so many question marks. I think what is exciting is that the incumbents are waking up to this now, the corporations that are figuring out, oh my God, we're about to miss the train. What are we going to do? Yeah. And they're trying to build similar products to the consumers, and they can't because they're just not capable, as you just said. So the interesting thing is, how will these organizations, how will a Wealthfront or a Betterment manage to partner with the right large corporations to deliver a better service and make their business sustainable? Because at the moment, I'm still kind of curious to see how sustainable these businesses are, either model.
Yeah, well, I will tell you, we had Andy on, and he wouldn't name Betterment, but he said, I'm basically quoting here, he goes, Nathan, a lot of our competitors, they are spending so much money to acquire customers, they're going to go broke if they can't keep raising capital. And he said, we're happy to just keep waiting. And I said, are you talking about Betterment? And he said, I can't say. I'm a nice guy. And I said, Andy, tell me the name. Who is it? But it is. There's a lot of money in the space right now. Now, in Europe or in Singapore, are you really the leading kind of fintech and insurance tech accelerator, or who else is in the space?
So, first of all, we are the only program with that global reach. We now have 4 in what we think are some of the key locations. We're about to launch a couple more to really cover the globe. So we offer really every entrepreneur in a region access to the network. In the InsurTech world, there's only one more program, and that's a program in the US and out of Des Moines, Iowa. And we have 17 different players who are. It's called the Global Insurance Accelerator, I think, or Global Insurance Accelerator.
Yeah, it's because it's an unsexy space, right? No entrepreneurs wants to go think about insurance, right?
You know what? I think we have we're close to reaching peak fintech when it comes to the hype. And little by little, entrepreneurs are figuring out that the insurance space is potentially more lucrative. It's less crowded. There's so many problems to solve. They're waking up to this. But we know that when we go out to attract entrepreneurs to come into the program, we have a different approach when we talk to the InsurTech people. We actually try to get them to understand that they are relevant for the industry because they usually see themselves as, I don't know, big data startups or AI companies, but never self-identify as InsurTech.
Yeah. Nektarios, when you're raising money from the larger banks to fund your accelerator, do you run this like a fund? Or are they just granting you money?
We create for every program, for every location, we create a sort of mini fund type structure.
Okay.
But some of the organizations come in as sponsors, pure sponsorship money.
So, like, I hate asking this, but like the way you make money is, are you taking a management fee on the funds you've raised, or like how do you support yourself?
No, not at all. No. It's from that perspective, it's not a fund at all. So we really. So we need a minimum amount of cash to run the program.
How much?
And it's about $1 million US a year.
Okay.
And that really is just to keep the lights on and deliver a quality program. Anything we raise beyond that is upside for us. But as I said, in most programs, we don't really do that.
And how many people are on your team there to run it?
So every location has about 5 people. The company behind Startup Bootcamp, the guys who are running Startup Bootcamp FinTech and InsurTech, we are called Rainmaking Innovation. What we do is corporate innovation. So what we do is we actually make money out of the corporate engagements that go outside the accelerator. So we sit down with a large bank, with a large insurer, and we have very honest conversations about their innovation needs. And the accelerator piece could be one of them, because this is where they want to do some early stage stuff. They want to have that visibility, etc. But then they have internal innovation needs. They need to understand how to change the culture in the company to be more entrepreneurial, how to get people to understand what they need to do, how to educate the executives, but also very concrete projects all the way to co-creating businesses with the corporates. Yeah. And all of this is what we make money from. So the accelerator in that sense is not necessarily driven by a commercial perspective.
Like I told you guys at the top of this episode, I have amazing data, and you guys know from my interview style, I love data. But what I love more than data is making it actionable via beautiful dashboards that I can view on my phone, on my TVs in my living room, or even on my laptop as I'm traveling. And the company that I use to create these dashboards, which pulls in data from my Libsyn backend, my Google Analytics backend, Salesforce, and other data sources, is called Clipfolio. You can see an example executive dashboard, or my social media command center, or my web metrics dashboard at nathanlatka.com/analytics. That's nathanlatka.com/analytics. And you can try it there for free for 3 months. Okay, it's Clipfolio. You can try it free for 3 months. Everybody else has to pay. So you get it free for 3 months. Alan's a good friend. He's the CEO of the company. He came on the show. I said, I love your product. Can I feature it? So nathanlatka.com/analytics. Go check it out now. Okay, Top Tribe, I have to tell you, many people go, Nathan, you came out of nowhere, your website's growing so fast, how'd you do it? The answer is simple. So I use HostGator. I don't know if you guys know that, but I use HostGator, and the reason I do, they have like about 4,500 free templates I can use because I don't code. They've got a great e-commerce plugin, and guys, I bug the heck out of their support. They've got 24/7 support, which I love. So what I've done is I've worked with them. You guys know I make great deals. If you go to hostgator.com/Nathan, you can sign up, get your own domain for 30% off and a 45-day money-back guarantee. Okay, again, I make great deals for you guys. Go to hostgator.com/Nathan to grab that now. Hey, Nektarios, let's wrap up here with the famous 5. Number 1, what's your favorite business book?
Oh my God, I have to say the Jesus, you're really catching me on a bad day. I had a really bad quote. The Lean Startup book.
All right, number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying right now?
I'm not.
Okay, number 3, is there a favorite online tool you have, like HostGator?
No, I'm very plain. I love using things like Slack.
Okay, number 4, yes or no, do you get 8 hours of sleep every night?
No way. Are you joking?
You have good energy. I mean, maybe, I don't know, maybe you did. What time is it there now?
It's 6:30 p.m. in London, but I usually operate on about 5 hours sleep a day.
That's amazing. And how old are you?
50.
Okay, and what's your situation? Married, single, do you have kids?
I've got a partner. Okay,
great. And what's your social security number? No, just kidding.
But see, in the UK, we don't even have that. Nobody cares about that.
That's good. In all seriousness, Nektarios, last question. You're really in the fintech space. You're watching and working with a lot of entrepreneurs. You yourself are an entrepreneur. You're 50. Take us back 30 years. What do you wish your 20-year-old self knew?
Oh, Jesus. Wow. Now you're getting philosophical. I wish at 20 I would have known that I didn't know everything. Yep. But I had this attitude that I'd figured it all out, and being a little bit less scared and more courageous. I think those were probably the things. Just do it. I mean, I wasted a little bit of, I missed a couple of opportunities just because I was a bit too risk averse. It changed in my 30s. So yeah, my 20-year-old is just go for it and take the consequences. It's going to be a ride.
Guys, there you have it from Nektarios. Take the consequences. It's going to be all right. He joined Startup Bootcamp back in 2014, really leading their FinTech and InsurTech space. Multiple locations. They staff it with about 5 people per location. Cost them about $1 million to run it. The rest, they take 6% of the business just to be part of the program. And then separately, these are not tied together, they give the companies 15,000 euros just as pizza money as they go through the program. A big success that's gone through it is a company called Buzzmove in the insurance technology space. They just raised $8 million United States dollars. Again, they're growing. They've helped over 60 companies. Nektarios, thank you for taking us to the top.
It's been a pleasure talking to you.
If you enjoyed Nektarios today, go back and listen to Nevin Shetty from yesterday with Blueprint Registry. They raised $1.7 million and passed 2,500 postings and $10 million in transaction volume in 2016. It would mean the world to me if you guys got any value from this episode, if you would go leave a review on iTunes right now and then subscribe. You know, I hustle like heck to get these episodes out every freaking day for you guys, and trust me, I love it. I would do it with no listeners, but boy, oh boy, it makes my day and it makes my team's day when we see great reviews and get your feedback. So thanks so much. Top Tribe, I love giving away free money. I feel like Oprah giving away cars, and I have something special for you today. How many of you have heard our super sharp guests talk about success they've had with Facebook and Google Ads? Well, all of you listening right now, yes, if you're listening, you get $100 in free AdWords. Here's how you get it, okay? Again, thanks for listening. Get the free $100 from Google, right, when you sign up with my website host provider, HostGator. Go sign up now to get your free money. HostGator.com/Nathan. Again, that's HostGator.com/Nathan.